is. To reach the same number of people, you have to spend 5 times as much money because of the low density and the sprawl. So part of what I've tried to do as a county supervisor is to limit the sprawl. We have virtually shut down development in the Santa Monica Mountains. I'm criticized for 125 parcel subdivision. It's the only one that we have approved in 2 of them we've approved in 13 years. That's it. So for all intents and purposes, in the western part of the county, we have shut down development because the freeway system is like a river system. The Mississippi can only handle so much water. And if its tributaries are carrying more water than the Mississippi can handle, it floods. And in our case, the freeway, it stops. So we've got to worry about the tributaries. That goes for Santa Clarita and the Tejon Ranch and the western part of the county, etc. So transportation is complicated.
Okay. We had quite a few questions, obvious questions about the recent pay raise for
district attorney.
And all those folks who wrote are pretty much outraged and want your 2 cents on that.
Sure. The district attorney, the sheriff, and the county assessor are the 3 countywide elected office holders. They can only get a pay raise once every 4 years. And the only way they can get that pay raise has to be, by law, has to be enacted before, I forgot the exact time, but a decent interval before the election for that individual. Now, the district attorney is up for election, I believe, this June. So, if we don't give him a raise, and only the Board of Supervisors can do that, now he will not get a raise for his entire, if he's elected, or the next guy, whoever is elected, if he's defeated, his opponent would be frozen at the current salary. And there are a lot of people who believe that the district attorney and the sheriff and everybody is paid more than enough. I'm not going to quibble with that. I have my own personal feelings about that myself. But the salaries of many of our department heads now are climbing, and you better be prepared for it. In order for us, leave the electeds out of it for a second, but I want you to understand what's happening in government. The same thing is happening in the city. The head of the DWP is making, I don't know what the current guy is making, the previous guy was making $340,000, $350,000 a year. And his counterpart in the private sector was making many times more than that. I don't know what the chief of police is making in the city, but my bet is it's well over $200,000 and some odd $1,000. I'm sure it is. The sheriff of Los Angeles County, I believe, is making $225,000. Some of our department heads, the more complicated department heads, in order for us to attract the best people, and I believe in this, I'm willing to pay more money to get the best people, because if I had to choose between $225,000 and $250,000, or $250,000 and $275,000, that's $25,000 a year. One mistake by an incompetent who's getting paid $175,000 a year will cost $10 million. So we are better served by having the best people, and if we have to pay a little extra to get the best people, so be it. And I do that in my own office. I have the best staff. I'm sure that everybody else will say they have the best staff, and they do. But I am proud of the staff that I have. Most of the people that I've had have stayed with me a long time, and one of the reasons is that I pay them well. And it's worth it for me and for you, for me to pay them well, to keep that continuity. And so some of the people that many of you dealt with on my council staff are still working for me as a county supervisor and are doing a great job. And they don't get anywhere near what these folks are getting, but they're not department heads either. So the county administrative officer made a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors last week that the district attorney's salary be set at, I believe it was $295,000. And that's for the next 4 years. That's, and it doesn't apply to Steve Cooley. It applies to the position. So if Richard Close runs for DA and wins, he'll get the $295,000. It goes with the position, but it's frozen at that salary for the 4-year period. And he is now, I think, in the low. I think he was at 220, 225, and the public defender, who is his counterpart in the criminal justice system, is making considerably more than he is. So it's one of those things that I know it didn't. People don't like giving politicians raises, but it was recommended by the county administrative officer, and it's a one-time deal for 4 years.
Let me just do a follow-up on that same question. With these tough times that the state, county, and city are facing, what happens when the rest of the county employees want to go to the same pay raise party?
Well, they won't go to the same pay raise party because when times were good, Steve Cooley didn't get this kind of a pay raise. He couldn't get one for the last 4 years, and we had good times in the last 4 years, and he was frozen. So, it works both ways. Our employees, look, the county, I'm not going to speak for the other levels of government, state, federal, or city. I will defend what we do at the county. We are the most prudent. We have been extremely prudent in the way we've dealt with our labor unions. We did not give 25% pay raises to our unions in the last negotiation. We gave a 3-year contract with 3%, 3%, and 4%. That's a total of 10% for over a 3-year period. And some of the people that we had got extra adjustments, like nurses. We have, just like the private sector, hospitals cannot hire nurses in this town. I think if you're in the medical field, you know. We have the same problem. So we sweetened the pot so that we could hire nurses. What's the price of not hiring nurses and not paying a good salary for nurses? Is we end up having what happened to Martin Luther King. Nurses who are too tired or don't want to be bothered with the heart monitor, and they turn it off so when somebody flatlines and the alarm goes off, nobody can hear it and they die. We had several people die like that at Martin Luther King Hospital. So we want to get the best, and we have to pay to get the best. But by and large, we have, the County of Los Angeles is in the best fiscal condition of all the levels of government around today, largely because we have not given away the store to our labor employees. We've treated them fairly, we've treated them well, but we have not given away the store.
All right. By the way, you folks who wrote questions and left your phone numbers and or emails, we make copies of these and forward them on to the supervisor's office, so they'll hopefully do a follow-up with you.
Will do.
This next one is from Tom Carter. When will your office request that LA County DPSS and LAUSD begin to share information and find the $100 million in lost revenues and welfare meals paid? And he's got an attached email to your office.
Yeah, I know. I know the whole story, and the gentleman has been in contact with me and with a number of people in the county. The school district, I'm just going to be very brief because there's no point in taking everybody else's time on this. The school district, as he knows, has declined his proposal, and as long as the school district declines his proposal, our county is not in a position to unilaterally do something which requires the school district's participation. I'll be happy. Won't be happy. We've got a lot of correspondence with Mr. Carter. All right, next question.
Okay. Sidonia Lax asks, what happened to the low-rent housing proposal that you fought for?
Which low-rent housing proposal?
1818.
Okay. The question is, what happened to the proposal I made on SB 1818? I made a proposal to the mayor and the city council on that. It is still pending before the city council. I have spent some time with many members of the city council, including Council President Garcetti, and they've made some changes to the original proposal that the planning department made, which was, the original proposal was outrageous. They've made some movement in the right direction. I have had further conversations with some of the council members, mostly focused on limiting exceedances from height on boulevards like Ventura that are adjacent to single-family zones. And I think that is the most important thing they can do. Right now, they have not addressed that. It hasn't gone to the full city council yet, and I don't know when it will be going, but it's a matter of weeks. It's soon, it's not months, it's weeks, and I hope they will address that. This is something that your association should stay on top of.
Okay. This question addresses the Coliseum, and why won't you let your rival team play at USC, and when are you going to get that resolved?
Well,